عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Dear student of third secondary, today we are going to continue our solving for booklet 3 from الأستاذ book. Okay, we stopped at the last video at chapter 1. Also, we have today chapter 1 and we will continue the last booklet in lesson 1 from the beginning of the chapter to before the general properties of 3D elements. Okay, we have the exercises starting from page 10 in the book till page 13. Okay, let's go to question 1. Question 1 says that for the medical photographing, okay, with gamma rays we use, okay, we said that we have photographing for the like the bones of hands or legs or any parts of the bones of our body using the gamma rays that we depend on it to know the fracture or any stain in our body. Okay, we use element what or the one that we depend on for this one. Okay, if we said that we have isotope radioactive of the element in the group IVB, okay, the other one here isotope non-radioactive of the element located in the group VIB, or isotope radioactive element in the group VI3, and the last one here isotope non-radioactive element in the group VB. Okay, if we said that we have radioactive element, that the one that we use, we have cobalt 60. Okay, and cobalt 60 is one of the elements that present in group VI3. Okay, this group contains 3 columns that they are the isotope one depend on or emit gamma ray cobalt 60. Okay, if we continue or mention that the radioactive isotope cobalt 60 emit gamma rays, since the cobalt is located in the group what, in the vertical group Vi3. Okay, so the right answer here will be letter C. Okay, let's going to question 2. Question 2 says that according to the following reaction, X represent the element what? We wanted to know what is the element X that react with NiOH plus H2O, okay, that will give XOH by 2 plus NaOH by 2. That is the transition element in the 3D series. Okay, if we discussing this one, we want one element that here its oxidation state or oxidation number will be what here from this compound we have XOH by 2. This means that oxidation number will be plus 2. So if we discuss the answer here, we have oxidation number of the compound will be plus 2. So we have here, if we have choices scandium, zinc, copper and iron, we have scandium and deuterium that they are in the 3B elements with the oxidation state plus 3 only. Also we have copper and zinc, that we have copper and zinc. Also we have copper less active than nickel, so it will not make the two compounds in the product. So we choose what we choose at the end, the last one, iron, as it takes the oxidation state what it takes the oxidation state plus 2, and it is more active than nickel. It is more active than nickel here, so it will give the two compounds here, as it is more active than nickel, than giving at the beginning FeOH by 2, and the other product will be NiOH by 2 also. Okay, so the right answer here will be the iron. Okay, this is the mini question that I think it's sometimes needed to concentrate on the reactions of iron. Let's go into question 3. Question 3 says that the similarity of the element, here we have element what with iron, and the cobalt element is the ability of magnetization. We have scandium, nickel, zinc, and vanadium. If we're discussing the question here, what is the similarity of element that we have with iron and cobalt element? We said that we have the group of strong, or some elements are similar in the magnetization. They have the same property. We said that we have the iron, cobalt, and nickel are elements in one vertical group Vi3 that we discussed before, and they are horizontal elements where similar is between them large in properties, so they are in the property of magnetization, they are similar to each other as they present in the same group. Okay, so the right answer here will be the nickel. Okay, let's go into question 4. Question 4 says that the alloy what that not contain the element with the electronic configuration for S1 3D10. We have the brass, and we said it is the yellow alloy, or making the color of the gold, the brass alloy, the white copper, the ferromanganese, and the last one, the bronze. Okay, if we said that we have alloy with this electronic configuration, okay, what is the right answer here? If we discuss the all the elements, all of these contain the electronic configuration for S1 and 3D10. Okay, the one that not belongs to it. If we said the brass alloy that containing copper, white copper, it's also copper. We have the last one, bronze, it's also alloy that contain copper. So the one that not contain the electronic configuration with 4s1 3d10 will be the here the ferromanganese. It's a type of alloy that doesn't contain, only one that doesn't contain copper with its electronic configuration 4s1 3d10. Okay, let's go into question 5. Here we have question 5 says that the outer layer of what isolated the rest of the chromium from the atmospheric air. We have different kinds of compounds. Here we have the chromium sulfide, the chromium sulfate, the chromium oxide, and the last one, the chromium carbonate. Okay, if we discuss this one, we want a layer that has a property of non-porous layer or non-porous oxide layer that prevent the reaction or prevent the oxidation reaction. What will be the layer that isolated the chromium from the atmospheric air or prevent the chromium to react with oxygen of the air? We said that we have here one that contain, which one will be the non-porous oxide, so it contain oxygen, so it will not take oxygen from the air. Depending on the, it will be protecting or covering with no spaces or no porous or non-porous layer that prevent the continuation of the reaction with the air. So the right answer here will be letter C. Okay, let's go into question 6. Question 6 says that, I think it's one of the very important questions that depend on the chemical formula or depend on the oxidation number. The following information is for the transition element X. Represent in the hydrated salt, we have XCl2, H2O by 4, all Cl dot H2O. Okay, this is compound that hydrated salt. Okay, what are the properties of the hydrated salt? Here we have it oxidizes rapidly in the air, forming protective layer or shield that prevent from oxidation. Also, its compound have many colors. It's used in the metal plating and it's oxidized used as dye. So X component is, we wanted to know what is the X element that we use to form this hydrated salt. We have the copper, we have the zinc, the chromium, and the iron. Do you think what is the right answer here? We said that before, one that contain oxygen and forming non-porous layer that prevent from the reaction in the air, and it contain different what contain different properties that can make protection for any substance or any material. Okay, we said that we have the oxidation number here. Oxidation number in the compound will be +3. If we're discussing the first, copper and zinc, they don't take +3 in the hydrated salt of nature. And so we have the protective layer here or covering that we need. It not depend on the presence of copper and zinc. So its oxidation state or oxidation formula indicate that it will be what it will be the chromium. So the right answer will be letter C. Okay, let's going to question 7. Question 7 says that the similarities of elements at the farthest left of the D series in that. Okay, we have the similar in the properties between the properties in the D series. We have they are all metals, and we have they are all transition metals. They have the same number of d electrons and the last one all of the previous. If we're discussing the answer here, the similarities of element at the left of the D series, okay, we said that they are representative metals. So the main property of it, depending on the element of the D series and the element of the left side, are all metals. The similarity between transition in the middle and the left side, we have main or similarity between them as they are metals. Okay, so the right answer will be letter A. Let's go into question 8. Question 8 says that the similarities of the column elements at the farthest right of the D series. Okay, we are going to the other side of the table in this question that we will discuss. They are all transition metals? No. In the middle that we have transition, but in the right side not transition elements. All are non-transition metals? No. Also, so they opposite to each other, but not the right answer. Do you think that? Okay. The similarities between the farthest right and D series here, the similarities all are non-transition metals. Okay, the column element of the at the farthest right side means that they are not transition element. Okay, we have here the horizontal period number, no, and the atomic number also no. Okay, if we discussing the answer here, we will mention that rightmost column of the D series is the column of the vertical group 2b. Okay, the last will be 2b, and it doesn't contain single electron in their orbitals in its atomic state, as well as it oxidation number will be +2, so they are considered as a non-transition element. Okay, we consider this is the only one property, so they are non-transition elements. Okay, this is the reason that we choose this one. I think it's very important question. Let's go to question 9. Question 9 says that by falling off ultraviolet rays on the skin painted with substance containing titanium dioxide, TiO2 particles, then it what happened? Okay, we said that titanium dioxide make a layer that prevent the penetration of ultraviolet rays to the skin, so it sunblocks, we use it as sunblocks in different cosmetics. Okay, so we will choose, we have penetrate the skin, absorbed in the skin layer, reflected and dispersed, and the last one all the previous. Okay, if we discussing the our answer here, we have titanium dioxide, non-particles prevent, non-particles means that there is no spaces in the layer that containing titanium dioxide, that preventing the ultraviolet rays from reaching the skin. So the right answer will be reflected and dispersed, means that it will not affect on the skin or make any harms for the skin. So the right answer will be letter C. Okay, let's go into question 10. Question 10 says that the number of transition elements that present in the form of triples in the same vertical column equal. Okay, we want to discuss the answer here. We have choices 40, 12, 36, and 25. Okay, if we discuss the elements that we have here, elements of what we have transition element in the presence of treble. Treble means that they are, we have three columns that collected together in the group Vi3 exist in the form of trebles. Three elements in the horizontal period, as they are found in four horizontal periods, that they are three column and four periods. 3 times 4 will giving what will giving 12 elements. So the right answer here will be 12. You understand the question now? Okay, I think it's easy, but you must concentrate to understand the question easily. Okay, let's go into question 11. Question 11 says that the 3D element that containing the largest number of single electrons in their orbitals in. Okay, we have here the bending the bumpers of cars. Do you think that? I think it's one of the main important. We have also choices manufacture of huge magnets, detection of the malignant tumors that very hard or very kind of diseases very hard, and galvanizing the minerals and metals. Okay, if we chose the one that means that we have one substance that having a large number of single electrons in the d orbit will be 5, and it will be found in the chromium. Okay, if we said that we have large number of single electrons means that we have 5, so the we are in the 5 orbitals of 3D, they are single electrons, all the d orbitals, so we have 5 electrons that belong to only chromium and manganese, but we have the use that we depend on it, that we have chromium used in metal plating that making covering layer. So if we're discussing between the chromium and manganese, chromium make a layer that preventing from oxidation with the atmospheric air, so it will be used in painting what in painting the bumpers of cars. Okay, it's one of the main function that preventing from the reaction from atmospheric air and prevent from oxidation depending it in protection or covering. Let's go into question 12. Question 12 says that the least the least number of dual of electrons, okay, means doubling of electrons of 4s and 3d that the elements contain. Okay, we have two groups here or two elements. We have element present in 2b or Vi3. Also we have element iron and scandium, vanadium and titanium, copper and cobalt. Okay, if we're discussing each one, here we have number of doubling means that making dual electrons or double electrons not present in the single form. We have in the 4s and 3d that belongs to vanadium and titanium. So we have here it will be 2. It will be 2. So the right answer here will be letter C, vanadium and titanium. Let's go into question 13. Question 13 says that the number of vertical column of the transition element in the 4D series equal what? We have different choices here. We have the first one will be 10, 9, 8, and 7. Okay, if we discuss the answer, we have column 12 in the periodic table is the column of 2b, and it's one of the non-transition element. Non-transition element means that it will contain 9 or the group 9. Okay, so the right answer here will be 9. So the number of vertical column of the transition elements in the 4D series equal, we have the column 12 in the periodic table will be 12 2b, and for non-transition element the vertical column in the 4 series we have 9 9 column. Okay, let's going to question 14. Question 14 says that choose from the following suitable according to the magnetizable or magnetization 3D element. What will be the property that will affect here? They have the same number of single electrons in 3D. They are located on the farthest left of the horizontal period. They are located in the same vertical group, and the last one here that they are very brittle and ductile. Okay, if we discuss the answer, we said that we have elements magnetization or making it as a magnet that belong to the elements that in the group what in the column or the group Vi3. So we have the iron and cobalt will be magnetized element that have or in the same vertical group Vi3. So the right answer here will be letter C. They are located in the same vertical group. Let's go to question 15. Question 15 says that the number of vertical groups here that we have equal the same of electrons. Okay, we have ns n minus 1d of the element with the atomic number what to the element with the atomic number what respectively. Okay, if we said that we have the number of vertical group the same with element with the same number of the same atomic number, or it means that the discussing this question that we have the vertical group number equal to the numbers of d and s or electrons for two elements that having the same atomic number respectively. We have the element that take ns and n minus 1d with the same electrons for them, that will be scandium and manganese. They having the oxidation number 21 and 25 respectively. Okay, let's going to question 16. Question 16 says that the metal whose most common chemical formula will be X2O5. We said that we have element, and we will illustrate here its property. We will conclude it at the end. We have the first one, metal extremely brittle in its pure form or pure state. Metal that bond its cation with SO4 negative 2 to form insecticide. Element in the magfighter aircraft industry, and element with high hardness in the alloy industry. Okay, if we're discussing this one, we said that we have the chemical formula X2O5. X2O5 that belongs to only one, that we have the vanadium. We have the element vanadium, and it's the main function that we have its high hardness or very hard alloy that resemble to steel in it, or higher than steel in its hardness. So the right answer will be letter D, element with high hardness in the alloy industry, that we use the vanadium pentaoxide, that will be V2O5. Okay, let's go into question 17. Question 17 says that which of the following ionic pairs that contain in the sublevel 3D single 5 electrons in their orbitals. Okay, if we're discussing, we have different choices here. We have the first one, we have the Fe plus 2 and Fe plus 3. We have iron tri, Fe plus 3 and manganese dioxide, Mn plus 2, cobalt dioxide, cobalt plus 2, and Zn plus 2. The last one here, that we have scandium plus 3 and nickel plus 4. Okay, we said that we have what? We have ionic pairs in the 3D single. We have 5 electrons only in their orbitals. That means in cases of oxidation, that we have only 5 electrons, mean that they have single electrons in the 3D, or 3D contains 5, or have the number of electrons that saturating the, or making it saturated. So it belongs to two of these. We have iron 3, and also according to this distribution of ions, we have iron 3 and iron Mn plus 2, that will be have field of d orbitals that containing single electrons, 5 single electrons. So it will be iron Fe plus 3 and Mn plus 2. The right answer here will be letter B. Okay, let's go on to question 18. Question 18 says that the cobalt devices used in. Okay, we have the function here that discussing this question. We have institutes and hospitals of the tumor treatment. We said that we different cobalt with its radioactive form that used in the treatment of the tumors, and also authorities that control and the duality of food products. Okay, mean that we take the stopping of the continuation of bacteria and germs. Also that factories that produce sheet metal, and the last one all of the previous. Okay, we said that cobalt is very important one. Okay, very important radioactive isotope, that cobalt 60 available in all the uses that we mentioned in our choices for this question. So all the previous are in the devices that depend on the presence of cobalt as an element. Okay, let's go into question 19. Question 19 says that the largest number of double electrons or dielectrons in the 3D orbitals found in. We have our choices: copper plus 2, iron plus 3, zinc plus 2, and titanium plus 2. Okay, if we discuss each one here, that we have the first, we have the divalent zinc. We have divalent zinc ion that we have 10 electrons in a pair state. So the largest number of double electrons or the pairs of electrons, every two electrons in pairs with the same sum of them in one orbital, means that we have in the 3D. Okay, so we have the element zinc, no zinc ion, Zn plus 2, Zn plus 2. It will be all of 3D filled with electrons, so it will lose the two electrons that present in what, in the s, in 4s, but all the 3D orbital is filled with electron, or we have doubling in each one. So the right answer here will be letter C. Let's go into the last question of our booklet, question number 20. Question 20 says that which of the following not distinguish titanium element? It's one that not property of what of element. We said that it's non-toxic and bond strongly to the bones, means that it will give X-ray or use as what, as making photographing, good ultraviolet reflector, and which present in the form of titanium dioxide, that we said that it will disperse the ultraviolet rays that protect, or that use in cosmetics that make a protection or sunblocks. The here letter C, very hard like steel and less in dense. Yes, I mean, it means that we have very hard in property, and it will be less in dense or less in mass, that we have light in mass. And the last one, we have most abundant 3D element in the Earth's crust. Do you think that titanium? What about iron? Okay, we have the right answer, that not titanium is the most abundant one of the Earth's crust. We have the iron. This property only belong to iron, is the most abundant 3D element in the Earth's crust, not the titanium. It's not a property for distinguish what for titanium as an element. And this is the last question. I think it's easy one, but we must read all the choices till reaches to the end of the questions. Okay, thanks for joining. I hope you enjoy this booklet. I think all questions may be needed to study hard all the uses of the 3D elements. This is the last question or the last booklet in this part. We wait to any question on any way of communication. You have different ways for communication. We have group in Telegram, in Face, and also in Whats, that we have all the questions. We waiting for it. Okay, I hope you enjoy our questions. Okay, Dr. Shireen with you. Okay, thank you and goodbye.